When we have a microcolony, different microcolony together start to connect together, and then it make a biofilm formation. And this is the problem. When we have a biofilm formation, it means a lot of issues in our system. So how we start to destroy this, we start from back to forward. So we start by point 4, we need to destroy the biofilm formation, then we start to go to the second layer, we need to destroy the microcolony until we remove this biofilm. What are the symptoms, the usual symptoms that we have in our, when we have a biofilm formation? So the first thing we always have is the odor. It's obvious for everyone that will go through the plant and walk around, he will smell the odor of biofouling. Also the slime texture. So this is a real photo for a membrane that has a slime texture due to the biofouling that happened in this plant. Also the elevated differential pressure and increasing in turbidity, increasing in SDI, reducing in free chlorine since it is consumed by the bacteria, and increasing in the membrane-derived pressure. All these are symptoms that is highlighting to us that we need to stop and do something. Otherwise, the plant will have an operational condition. Where we do find the microbiological contamination? Actually everywhere. So every point in your system you can find a microbiological contamination. On the dead legs, on the softener, on the cartridge filter, on the activated carbon. Anywhere from the intake point until the last point of the production water you can have microbiological contamination. And this is why it's very important that we need to control this microbiological contamination by using non-oxidizing biocide and using oxidizing biocide. So non-oxidizing biocide is a system, they are reacting with oxidizing biocide like the bleach, like the chlorine dioxide, such are all plants. Fourth statement that we have that dechlorination deactivates the non-oxidizing biocide effect. So when we inject this, it's injected before and after the cartridge filter, and it's always very important chemical that we have in the system. So usually you can use sodium injected before the cartridge filter. There is symptoms that we need to scale them. Also the inability that we can get to a certain the desired recovery percentage. Also this is an indication. When we increase the frequency of cleaning, all these are symptoms that we need to either we use antiscalant, or this could be that we have a problem with the antiscalant used and we need to change it, for example. Where the scaling and fouling happen in our system, so usually the scale happen in the tail end element, and when we have such a scale as calcium-based or sulfate-based, magnesium hydroxide, silica, all those type of scale type of problem or scale tendency you may have, so we have to select the right product and the right dose. I will go to the sixth segment of the system. Actually, still there is something very important, which is the preventive cleaning. There is a scheduled maintenance cleaning we need to follow. If our system has problems you have in your system, we will select a different protocol and adjust the protocol as we need. So back with the plants there. So antiscalant consumption and acid consumption. Those were the main parameters we were looking for. So for the first plant, as I was saying, it was however we reached to only 33 tons of antiscalant. Also for the acid. The acid here was